Hey guys, Caleb here with the Human Music Society. The last few episodes, I've been exploring with you all the idea of the human creative spirit and trying to come up with some concept or definition of what that is so that when we're comparing to AI creativity, we know exactly what it is we're working with. I've talked about the human brain or the human mind and how that relates to creativity, and then also about the human body and about our physical reality and how that relates to human creativity. And there's one other aspect of the human creative spirit which I wanted to explore with you, and that is the spiritual side of creativity. Now, in our modern day, it's super easy for us to ignore the spiritual realm, and many people here where I live in the US question whether or not it even exists at all. Um, but here's an interesting observation from my own life. Having worked and been around many highly creative people over the years, I've never encountered another creative who did not believe in a spiritual realm on some level. Given that anecdotal evidence, I think it's important to explore the role of spiritual creativity and how that all ties in with the human creative spirit. Music, in particular, has always been tied to the spiritual. It is universally used in religious worship throughout the world, regardless of the religion. Just think about that for a moment. That should tell you something really important about music and about creativity for human spirituality. Examples of this are Christian chants, church music, the Muslim call to prayer, Hindu music, Buddhist music, and religious tribal music played by indigenous groups around the world. And on the flip side, musicians have sort of a funky reputation of selling their souls to the devil to gain extraordinary playing abilities. Now, whether or not you believe in the selling your soul part, given the religious importance of music and the myth of selling your soul to the devil, I think it's really safe to say that music creativity and other forms of creativity as well, but they play a very important function in our spiritual lives and can be a form of worship. Now, here's another thing to think about. If music is a form of worship, along with other art forms, then that means that music provides a means of communication between us and the spiritual realm. The human creative spirit, in addition to initiating an ineffable timeless connection and conversation between us and other humans, it turns out also helps us connect and converse with the spiritual realm. So then, what happens to our spiritual health if music and creativity at large is commandeered by AI? Isn't that a question? So, by giving the creative reins to AI, what are we doing? To recap a little bit on previous videos, we are letting AI synthesize its very limited secondhand dimension of information into its creative output. This will cause AI creativity to deviate from human creativity. We are also removing our bodies, our primary sources of information, from the creative conversation because AI doesn't have a body, and even when it does, it will be different from ours. We are also giving over an extremely important part of our spiritual lives to a spiritless machine. Humans are inherently creative, and the creative spirit is ingrained into every aspect of our lives. That's why no matter how shiny AI may seem, or no matter how efficient it becomes, no matter how it captures our human attention, we as humans have to be purposeful about maintaining a healthy and vibrant human creative spirit. Otherwise, it will affect our minds, it will affect our bodies, and it will affect our spiritual well being. As I've said before, this is not an anti AI channel, it is a pro human channel. And the day might come when we partner creatively with AI to explore new frontiers. Now, this could be a very amazing thing, and it could unlock amazing things in our lives. And I do think that that is, um, without foregoing AI entirely, the best case scenario going forward for us humans. But for that to happen, we must never give up our creativity. Our creativity, the creativity which makes us human, the creativity which is hard, which is slow, the creativity which takes practice and time to get good at. And in many ways, that's the whole point of what our creativity is. It's, at least for the creator, more about the process a lot of the time than it is what the final creation is. And it's through that process that you're able to code in or ingrain the deeply human insights and connections which you're trying to convey to other people, and which people can hopefully perceive through your art. And then realizing that that process is ingrained with everything that we do. It's ingrained with our minds, it's ingrained with our bodies, and it's ingrained in our spiritual lives. And that's why it's valuable for a human to sit down at a piano or at a guitar, or simply just sing, or even take a walk in nature, and work on something creative, because in a lot of ways that's the whole point. It's through the process that you're able to convey and communicate exactly what it is you're trying to convey and communicate to whoever is consuming your artwork. Now, I'm not saying don't use a prompt to generate a piece of music using AI. There may very well be a time and a place for that. What I am saying is that don't fool yourself into thinking that you are creating something, that it is your creation, because it's not. It's AI's creation.